Good afternoon. I'm Dave Thompson. I'm the Education Director for the ACE Academy of Cleaning Excellence and President of the Green Clean Institute. If you're striving to be progressive, looking for knowledge about all things that are positive, and advancing healthy best practices, then this show is the right show for you. This afternoon, my guest speaker is here to talk to us about how to build a healthy life plan for your future. So come on back after this message and we'll learn more.
Live from Orlando, Florida, and the ACE Learning Center at GEMSupply. It's Beyond Clean with Dave, a weekly broadcast for professionals in environmental health services around the world. Your host is David Thompson, Director of Education for GEMSupply, and his mantra is, I am a janitor and I save lives. And now let's listen to Beyond Clean with Dave and today's guest at the ACE Learning Center in sunny downtown Orlando.
There's 3 words that I focus on each and every Friday afternoon. Those words: healthy, positive, and proactive. Now, before I start today's show, we have our live chat that we've been doing. It's on YouTube. It's on the right-hand side of your YouTube channel. Post your question there for Tim and I, and we'll get back to you after the show. Now, as I said, my guest speaker here is joining us in just a moment, and we're going to be talking about what it takes in our world today to have a healthy life plan for you, your business, and your family. Now, we've got a little technical problems. I want you to still welcome Tim Roach. We're not going to be able to see him, but he's here with us live on the air. Tim, have you made it to us?
I'm here. Glad to be with you, Dave.
Good. Sorry about the technical problems, folks, but you came here to listen, Tim, watch me a little bit. So Tim, tell the audience who they're watching.
Well, you're watching Tim Roach. I'm First Vice President Investments with the Private Client Group of Raymond James in beautiful, sunny St. Louis, Missouri.
It's sunny now. It's been rainy there.
Yeah, we've been under a deluge of rain for a week or two, but it's the land is starting to dry out.
Okay, so Tim and I, we met at a Tip Club networking event. Tim, can you believe it's been almost 3 years ago since we started working together?
No, it doesn't seem that way at all, Dave.
No, it doesn't. Now, we've been working on my life plan. Well, it's not went as quickly as I like, and I've still got a lot to do, but hey, at least we got started. So Tim, tell the audience not exactly what I did, but what they should do to get started on a life plan.
Well, to begin with, believe it or not, it's pretty simple, but it's to have a written plan. Put it down in writing.
Well, that sounds simple, but I can guarantee you, I haven't got all of it wrote down yet. So planning for what you're going to do in your future is very important. It doesn't matter whether it's for your business, your family, or just even yourself if you're by yourself. So, there's a lot of different parts that individuals and entrepreneurs should be aware of. So let's make the audience aware of what those proactive steps they can do for their future.
Well, Dave, I would start out and say probably the biggest one thing individuals have to be aware of is not to take on excessive debt. If you just look at the circumstances that our country is in today, we are over $20 trillion in debt, and that's just the funded debt.
Wow.
If you look at the unfunded debt, that number is greater than 200 trillion.
Wow.
So I'm not saying, to have zero debt, although that would be ideal. But one has to manage it in such a way that it doesn't overwhelm and detract from your lifestyle. So, the old saying, the borrower is slave to the lender, holds true.
Yeah.
We're at a low in interest rates today. And so for many, it makes it somewhat easier to take on debt. But I recommend minimal debt.
Yeah, I know. You've told me that before. Minimal debt, Dave. Come on, cut it down. Hey, you know what? I'm trying. Hey, I moved from my house. I'm living in my motor coach. I'm trying what I can do to make minimal debt. Haven't gotten there. So, we talked about this before. There's a place to start. Now, I don't have a family, didn't have a family, but, for those folks that have a family, where should they start?
Well, starting as soon as one can makes the most sense. If you're able, Dave, setting aside a minimum of 10% per paycheck is an excellent way to begin. Simply putting away $2,000 a year in an IRA, account for 8 years, beginning at the age of 19, in that IRA account, earning a hypothetical 10%, would yield a person over $1 million by the time that person turns 65 years old. And the chart that you're seeing on the screen, titled The Time Value of Money, shows the difference between investing now. In this case, on the left-hand side, it shows the 19-year-old putting the $2,000 away, doing that through age 26,
Right.
versus the person on the right, a 27-year-old putting $2,000 away and tabulating that all the way through age 65.
Wow.
So if you take a look at the very bottom, look at that difference. Got $1 million for the one who started at 19,
Right.
and the one on the right-hand side, well, not quite $1 million. So
Hey, I'm on that right-hand side. You know what? I didn't start early enough. I guarantee I didn't start at 19. Although I had the money, I didn't do that. I haven't been putting it back. You know what? And I'm only 5 years from that 65. I'm not going to have $1 million. You're getting me kind of stressed out already. I know there's a lot more steps. I know you and hey, you've done this to me before, so it's nothing new, but I don't know about the audience. I don't know if they're feeling it, but there's a lot more to that. There's a lot of steps to start saving no matter where you're at.
Well, let's talk about the first steps. You know, one of the best ways to start saving, again, as we said, is to start early and also start at what I call the entry level. What I mean by that entry level is cash, money markets, accounts, and bonds.
Okay.
You want to build, they want to build a cash equivalent position for 3 months worth of expenses.
3 months.
You do. That's right.
Oof.
You want to do this before you invest in anything else. And then the next significant step is to utilize your company's 401k options, if that's available to you. You know, many employers will match employees' contributions up to a limit of 5 to 6% of those contributions.
Hey, now that's something I've been doing for well over 30 years. The last 6 months since I relocated, started a new job, I wasn't eligible. But hey, this morning I got that little packet on my desk that said I'm eligible to start doing it again. You know what? I'm going to take advantage of it. Heck, that's free money from my company.
Exactly. That's what I tell my folks. I said, you know, that's free money. You got to take it. You know, if an employer-sponsored 401k plan, though, is not available for your use, then there's some other options that could be utilized. And those are a DRIP plan, an IRA account, or a Roth IRA account. And so let me explain these, Dave, these three basics plans.
Okay.
A DRIP plan stands for a dividend reinvestment plan, and you can set these up directly with many large S&P 500 companies. You know, for example, if you like a certain company, you can invest regularly from your paycheck into their stock. Their stock may have a dividend yield of 5%. So this potentially allows you to grow the money through the process of multiplication with your investment, plus the dividends paid get you a compounding to enhance your investment growth. Now, this is a taxable account where you will pay tax on the dividends earned at the end of the year.
Now, since I haven't been able to use my company's 401, I still have one from the past. And if I haven't got my 401 set up with my new company, can I get an IRA and have both of them at the same time?
You could. A Roth IRA account is an account where your money grows tax-free to be utilized in retirement tax-free. This may be the single best idea for anyone seeking to grow money for retirement use, Dave. A traditional IRA account allows your money to grow tax-deferred until you use that in retirement. So when you withdraw the funds in retirement, they will be taxable to you at your ordinary income tax rate. One advantage the traditional IRA has over the Roth IRA is that contributions can be tax deductible during your working years. So this in turn will mean less income tax today.
So all of this is about investing money and how it's taxed while I'm either working or after I've quit working. So this is where it gets real sticky, and I guarantee you, this is getting real complicated for somebody that's not, well, I mean, you know what, I'm not proficient on that. I work it to earn my income, but I'm not very good at really what do I do with it when already earned it. So I know there's some people out there that they go it alone, but really, can most of us do this, go alone in today's market?
Well, I'll tell you, Dave, there's a strong push for individuals out there to do it on their own. When you look at the low cost trading offered through Scott Trade and E-Trade, Fidelity, Vanguard, etc. But as a financial advisor in this business for over 20 years, I have a self-interest in seeing people lean on someone for assistance. Investing is an emotional experience, and it's important, Dave, to have a written plan, as we mentioned, for retirement income, prepared and managed by an individual or a firm one trusts. There are countless times when individuals will second guess themselves, and having an objective viewpoint can be very beneficial.
Oh, yeah.
It can help you avoid making those costly mistakes. And, through the counsel of many advisors comes wisdom.
Well, and that's why you and I have been talking for the 3 years, and I got a feeling we're going to be talking a little bit more. You as well as I, we're both growing closer to that retirement age. Well, at least what I've thought it should be. What is the current retirement age, and how much do I need to have put back? Don't scare me anymore.
Right. Well, I'll give you the facts. The current retirement age today is 65.
Okay.
And this is the age when Medicare health care benefits kick in from the government. However, full retirement benefit, Dave, the payout from the Social Security begins at age 66.
All right.
So depending on your health care situation, if you've got coverage, Dave, to 66, we generally recommend waiting until that age, 66.
I can do that.
The question is to how much to have saved will depend upon individuals' desired lifestyle and expectations for future activities.
Okay, you're going to hit me with
Dave,
numbers now, right?
Well, I'm going to tell you one thing here. Healthcare costs alone for an individual age 65 equals about $130,000 in retirement, according to a recent Fidelity study.
Oh.
This includes all the premiums and out-of-pocket costs they could expect during retirement. No small number.
I knew you was going to hit me with some numbers, and here we are, real close to that 65 for most of us, and I'm like, 130,000, and that's just for the out-of-pocket health care cost. That's not whether I want pizza or watch a movie.
That's correct.
Wow.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah. Well, hey. Okay. So when we're talking about all of this money and the funds, how should we manage all of these funds and invest them? What do we do? I mean, that's why we've got you, right?
Right. Great question. I would say that funds should be invested with the assistance of a trusted professional advisor, just utilizing a broad, diversified portfolio of assets based upon the individual, your risk tolerance. Here at Raymond James, that's what I do for my clients. I help them plan for their retirement and in their retirement. My goal is to help reduce my clients' stress around financial matters and help them move comfortably from into one phase to the next phase of their life.
Yeah, well, helping me reduce my stress right now is not what you're doing. I think it's growing, but we'll work with that later. I think anybody in the audience that might be watching this, if you're feeling a little stressed right now, that's okay. Tim says he'll help us to get to retirement and then while we're there. So I know two things that we all talk about, and that's long-term care protection and life insurance. Let's go there.
Well, how important is long-term care protection? Well, long-term care protection is very important, due in part to that large number that we just mentioned here. Right. According to longtermcare.gov, someone turning age 65 has a 70% chance of needing some type of long-term care services and supports in their remaining years. According to Thompson 1, and that's not you, Dave.
No.
The number one cause of bankruptcy, get this, in the U.S. today is due to healthcare costs. So having a policy goes a long way in helping people today to avoid a potential catastrophe tomorrow.
I tell people in my classes all the time that healthcare is the number one reason that I am here taking care of myself, but it's also the largest cost, not just today, but you're talking about tomorrow. So I have life insurance. I've had life insurance. When I get to retirement, what should I have?
Yeah, I guess the key question you're asking is what's the right amount?
Well, yeah, right.
People out there listening. for the people out there listening, what's the right amount of life insurance to have? I would say the right amount of life insurance depends typically on your family situation. Generally speaking, when you're young and single, there's not much need for life insurance other than to provide for the cost of burial. However, as we grow and get married and have a family, life insurance is typically need to provide for the spouse and children's needs in the absence of the earnings power that's lost by that individual as passed on. So when I say working with a licensed insurance advisor is very important in helping you determine what that right amount of insurance ought to be. Once the children have moved out of the house, the need for high levels of life insurance typically go down, and many find themselves in a position where they can afford to carry less life insurance.
Well, geez. I mean, I don't know. I kind of feel like here at the end, when we've wrapped this all up, maybe I've got something right. I've got life insurance. I didn't have the kids. I'm at my, hey, 60 comes this year. Some things are right. I haven't got it all. Tim, some of this information is stuff you and I've talked about before. Some of this isn't, and I've learned some things today. I'm sure that our audience could have learned some things today as well. We'll find out if they have any questions later. If you do have any questions, I'm sure that Tim, you'll be glad to help them with them, right?
Well, exactly. It's been a pleasure just to have a few minutes with you, Dave, here, and your audience. I can be reached online through my website. You can see it there on the screen.
Right.
Or my phone number direct here to St. Louis, 314-214-2156. Also have a LinkedIn site as well where you can kind of check me out. My guess is I've stirred up a lot of questions and maybe you're a little unsettled. So my goal to help kind of smooth those things out. And I would be welcome to assist any of those friends of yours out there that are listening in the right direction.
Well, I know,
Pleasure.
I know, Tim, it's been great having you as an advisor and a friend over the last 3 years. It just happened to be whenever I went to Tip Club, I happened to be looking for new life insurance, and there was my advisor looking right at me. We've got some more future to help me with, and maybe some other people too.
That would be great. Absolutely. It's been a
Thanks,
pleasure,
Tim.
Dave.
Hey, I'm sorry
Thanks
that we
for
didn't
having
have a video for Tim this time, but hey, the message was still there. Give him a call, get hold of him, and maybe you can see him in person. Now, we didn't have any messages on our chat today, but if you do have a question, or you're watching this in a recording, just leave your comments or your questions right under the video, and we'll be watching, and we'll try to get that to Tim, or I'll try to help you in my feeble way. Now, many people ask us about our classes, so we do have those. They're the ACE Academy of Cleaning Excellent classes. They're on the GEM website. If you go to the GEMSupply.net, you're going to find the education button. Right there, you're going to find the live classes. Find which class you want, find what location you want. We've got 4 locations. I'm sure that somewhere here in Central Florida we can help you. Now, also check out my Facebook page. That is, hey, you notice I got my hat on today. I covered up my bald head so you didn't have to look at it all day today. Anyway, like my Facebook page, share it. That's what it's all about in social media today. If you still need more information and want to communicate some more, go to my website, beyondcleanwithdave.com. There's a lot of information there. Our upcoming speakers as well as past speakers. And we've also got a little bit of pictures for you to look at if you want to see what's been going on here in Orlando. Now, next Friday, we're going to be talking with Daryl Hicks. He's going to be talking on the subject of infection prevention, like always. He's one of our regular speakers. But this Friday, he's going to be talking about that one area of the building which gets over 50% of the complaints, but it's only 5% of the total square foot of a building. So next week, right here, 1 p.m. Friday, live from Orlando, I'm Dave Thompson. Keep changing your future. Keep those changes healthy, positive, and proactive. And remember my mantra, I'm a janitor, and I save lives. Thanks for watching.
You have been listening to Beyond Clean with Dave and his guest. Sharing what you learn with others is what turns knowledge into professional development. Live classes are hosted each week at one or more of our 4 locations in Central Florida. Remember, janitors save lives. Be sure to put us on your schedule to watch next week as we present another broadcast of Beyond Clean with Dave.